Just looking back at the game, obviously disappointing the way it ended. Credit to the Chiefs and what they did, but we got to be better there at the end of the game to finish those games moving forward. So we'll get them cleaned up. Got it cleaned up this morning. Continue to clean it up and get ready for the Houston Texans.
Steven, want to go ahead?
Hey, Shane. Hey, just for the record, like we've watched Daniel all year, and he was on the injury report. He didn't look 100%. I mean, is there any light you can shed? Is there anything of concern there?
All I got for you is he's got a fibula, and that's it.
What can you? Is there any light you can shed on that? Because I got to be honest, when you say fibula, that's a bone, and it sounds bad. I'm not saying it is,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I'm not going to get into specifics, but
okay.
he's out there, he's playing, he's practicing, and he's good to go.
And just one last thing, you guys had you saw a lot of blitzes yesterday, which you tend to do with Spags. You had a lot of success with those early on. What do you attribute some of the struggles to?
You always look at it, there's always little intricacies within the game. They brought some zero pressure there at the end. We had a third down where they brought zero. We were trying to throw a quick slant there. You had to get the ball out of our hands quick, tight coverage things. There's a lot of different things that play into it. But again, we look back at those things and get them cleaned up and get better every week from those things, moving forward, Stephen.
Thanks.
James.
Shane, I think Noah Gray had the catch on the sideline there in the fourth quarter. Looked like he got messed up on the play, actually. But did you think to challenge that at all? What was going through your mind in that moment?
Yeah, I was definitely thinking about challenging it there. I just was talking to the officials on the sidelines. I said, "You guys look at that?" And they said, "Yeah, we looked at it. The replay assist did." So that's why I didn't throw the flag. And then I would have lost the timeout. Otherwise, I definitely would have.
So they told you like that he caught it?
Correct. They said the ball didn't hit the ground.
Interesting. Okay. And then
Yeah.
to follow up, end of the game, fourth quarter and overtime, how'd you feel about, I guess, looking back at it, just the time management perspective of it and knowing that you want to be aggressive to throw, but those seconds don't come off the clock and they get keep getting chances to obviously come back and win the game.
Yeah, for sure. You always go back and self-evaluate those situations. I really thought, really that last drive in regulation, when we went pass there, could I have called some runs there? Absolutely. Could have called runs, ate up some time there. But, hindsight, I just, it didn't work out. And obviously, I look at myself first and foremost on all those situations to get better for our guys, moving forward.
Chap.
Yeah, Coach, two things. Is Mooney Ward okay? I know he got lit up pretty good and went back in, but sometimes the day after.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I know, Chap, he's good to go. I talked to him after the game. He felt good. So he should be good.
The other thing about the end of the game, and it's always easy to second guess in all this. When you're sitting there now and it's 4th and 4 at the 45 or 46, do you wish you'd have rolled the dice and gone with it as opposed to Mahomes has done that so many times?
Yeah, he sure has. Our defense, I was looking, that was kind of a gut feel there, Chap, on that one. It was at the 45-yard line. Our defense, we had the punt to start the third quarter, another punt. They got a takeaway, and we were up 3 there. And I thought, shoot, let's try to back them up and, let them go the long way instead of the short way if we don't get it. And obviously, he went down there, and we held him to a field goal. But, yeah, you always look at those things. And, yeah, should I have, could have, would have, went for it on there? Yeah, possibly.
Thanks, Coach.
Joel.
Shane, the 3rd and 1 with Jonathan, you guys run it there. I think the sort of traditional thought is you don't run out of shotgun. What did you guys like about that play and where do you think it went wrong?
Yeah, it was an inside zone play there, and we were in the gun thinking maybe they were thinking it's pass. And they had a little line stunt up front with Chris Jones, and credit to those guys. They did a good job, up front, and we didn't get to the second level, and credit to them for, making the play.
Kevin.
Shane, how do you view the balance in they've got X amount of numbers in the box versus we got to get our best player the football?
Yeah, you always look at those things like, do we have leverage and spacing, in the run game? How do we capture leverage using whatever it is, whether it's motion or the front structure, to try to gain leverage with the box count too, maybe to get guys to fall out of the box. You always try to scheme different things up to create lanes in the running game. So that's stuff that we look at each and every week to try to create those matchups, whether they have a heavy box or a light box. We're always looking at those things.
Then knowing what JT's done in the second half, fourth quarter, do you view the boxing analogy of even in if it looks tough sledding at all? Sometimes it
Yeah, I mean,
can.
sometimes, yeah, you can grind out some, tough runs in there. I went back, obviously, you looked at that fourth quarter, the 3 and outs obviously were unacceptable, and that's on me. We started the one backed up in the fourth quarter, and I think, yeah, we lost 2 yards there, and then threw it there. And then, obviously, we started, the overtime with an RPO, and then we ran it there, and then we obviously got stopped on the 3rd and 1 there. So you always look back and self-evaluate there, on certain things.
Just a couple more, Nathan.
I know there's, it seems like maybe two different thought theories on what to do if you win the coin toss in overtime. You guys obviously won yesterday. Choose to receive it. Could you kind of just take us through what your theory is on why for you it makes sense to take the ball there? I know there's some folks that feel like getting the ball last and having the opportunity to know what you need to do and know if you need to go for fourth down or not is helpful. You guys obviously did the opposite, so I just was curious if you could walk us through that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look around the league, I think it's like analytics is like 50-50 split. You talk to coaches around the league, it's split. And just kind of my philosophy is like, hey, take the ball there, try to go score. That's a 10-minute, overtime. And if you don't score, you can punt them and back them up. And then if you get the stop, you'll probably get one more shot. That's kind of the thought process there. Now, if you do take the ball, right, and you go score, now they're in 4-down mode the whole way down. So there's the flip side of it too. So there's different thoughts and theories to it. And my thought there was take the ball, try to go score. And then obviously, try to stop them on the flip in. And like we did, punt them, back them up, and try to keep them backed up so you can get another shot.
And I know you've talked through a lot of what you guys did, just play calling wise, decision making wise in the fourth quarter and overtime. When you've had a chance to review it, do you feel like you would have? And again, I know hindsight is not what you have in the game. Do you feel like you guys would have or should have done anything different from a big picture standpoint? Or are you comfortable with how you guys approach that?
Yeah, I think looking at it as in the big picture, obviously, when it doesn't go your way, and it doesn't go out the way you want, obviously, you look back and say, man, I could have called this, I could have called that. We could have done this different. I think that last drive in the fourth quarter was the biggest one where we probably could have popped a run on first down. You throw it on first down, now you're at 2nd and 10, and then you throw it again. Now you're at 3rd and 10, and you try to get a 3rd and 10 versus, a team that, brings pressure. And obviously, we were short there, on the 3rd down. So that last drive in the fourth quarter, I thought, I could have done a better job for sure. Definitely there.
And I know you mentioned yesterday, Ashton Dulin obviously left the game, was questionable with a hamstring. Do you have any sort of update on his status?
Yeah, he has a hamstring, and it looks like, he'll probably miss some time. I don't know how much, but he'll probably miss some time.
Gotcha. Thanks.
JJ.
Shane, when you looked at the defense, Mooney and Sauce out there playing a lot of man, what just sort of hit you about the way that they played?
Yeah, I thought they played good tight coverage. They hit some crossing routes on us, but besides that, I thought both those guys played at a really high level. Sauce, obviously, as many plays as they had. I think they had about 95 plays, offensively, and those guys playing as much as they did. I thought they were really good. I thought Sauce made a great, PBU down there at the end of half. And I think Mooney did a good job too. So it's great to have both those guys back out there in the fold, playing for us on both sides.
And then Pratt, sometimes when you see like a tackle total that high, it's maybe a little like artificially inflated, but his looked like it was a lot of like high quality tackles against the run. Is that what you saw there?
Yeah, I thought Pratt played a great game. Some tackles for loss, in the backfield. I mean, he was phenomenal. He was flying around the whole day making plays. So credit to him. Credit to the guys up front for creating those gaps for him to get through and make those tackles. But yeah, he was flying around. He had a hell of a game.
We'll go with James, and then Chap will be our last question.
Shane, one more on Daniel. With the fibula injury, do you have to account for that in play calling? Do you feel like you have everything still at your disposal? Or do you feel like you have to kind of protect your guy a little bit?
Yeah, there's no limitations with them right now. So we go through our weekly game plan process, and we go from there.
Chap, go ahead.
Yeah, Shane, just any early assessments of what the Texans are going to bring to town?
Well, I know they got a really freaking good pass rush. Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson, as good as they get right now on the edge. And I think they're number one in total defense. They're number one in fewest points allowed. So it'll be a hell of a challenge for us. We're looking forward to that opportunity to, get back to work this week and go through our process and go through our preparation to get ready for Sunday. Being back home will be huge for us.
I don't know you don't look ahead, but for the last six or in the division, I mean, this is when it's going to be determined, obviously.
Yeah, division games are huge. They're different. They hit harder, obviously, because it is huge. You want to win your division, but you got to do it, 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time to get that done and prepare the right way.
Appreciate it, Coach.
That'll do it, Coach. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you Wednesday.
James, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll get started. Tanner, thanks for the time. When you look at what teams have been able to kind of do to you all with the blitz over the last few weeks, what do you think has been the difference between the success you all had in like the first half of the season, and then the difference between that and what we've seen the last couple of weeks?
I think they put us in some tough spots, but that's part of the game. They're going to make adjustments. We got to be able to adjust accordingly. I think blitz is always going to add a little complexity to schemes, but as an offense, we just got to go out there and execute and do our jobs to the best of our ability. And I think this is one that just came down to execution on our part.
Joel.
Shane said that he kind of felt like they had some backer run throughs in the running game yesterday. We haven't seen a lot of that from you guys. What do you think the Chiefs did well against your run?
I think the way they just played some of our double teams was different than we might have thought originally. But again, that's something that's part of the game. They made some good adjustments as throughout the course of the game. Stretching, running guys through, kind of try to get us off our double teams, and something that we have to adjust to as an offense. Be able to make sure we're communicating well, we're knowing what our assignments are, and we're getting off on the right guys. And again, they credit to them. They did a good job adjusting throughout the game, and we got to be able to adjust as well and continue to do those things.
Steven.
Hey, Bort. But you just talking about those blitzes. Given the fact that you guys have had some not great outcomes maybe in the last couple of weeks there, do you anticipate other teams will maybe confront you with the same thing, in the coming weeks? I mean, they're not all going to be the Chiefs, obviously, and do what they do. But what do you think?
I mean, I would think so. Most teams, they'll look back at what we've done throughout the year, look at what we've done the past few weeks and say, okay, that's what's been working so far. Let's try that. And it's a copycat league. Guys are going to try to do things that other teams have done well, that have worked for them. And I think that'll be something we see more of going forward.
Just a quick follow-up. You guys got blitzed. I think really the first couple games in particular this year, you saw a lot of them and you killed them. What do you think was the key to that back then?
I think it was just assignment sound, guys, again, knowing what we're doing. Again, we play in a hostile environment yesterday, so it gets a little communication runs at a premium. So just making sure that everyone's on the same page. And I think just going into the game plan, having a really good understanding as players of what we have to do, what they might do, and how we have to execute in order for our offense to be successful.
Yeah, actually, just real quick, you mentioned the noise. I mean, what did you think of Arrowhead playing there for the first time? Obviously, was it pretty tough situation playing there?
Pretty cool, and I think very situationally gets really loud, and obviously those critical moments of the game, they get on their feet, they get noisy. So it's a pretty cool atmosphere to play in, even as an away game. But again, it's part of the NFL. You're going to play in loud places, loud stadiums, and it's nothing new that we haven't worked on as an offense.
All right, cool, thanks.
Joel?
Yeah, Tanner, you guys, have been rolling this year. So losing 2 out of 3 is kind of the first time you guys have had a setback. How do you think the team's just kind of dealing with that?
I think, everyone's always frustrated after a loss, and I think that it just shows that a lot of our guys care about the outcome, care about the result. Everyone here wants to win. We do a lot of work on a weekly basis, a lot of preparation, a lot of time spent outside the building trying to get ready to play this game. And in a game where we felt we left a lot of meat on the bone, there's things we could have done better, cleaned up. I think it leaves a sour taste in everyone's mouth to, finish these next 6 games really strong. We had a chance to do what we wanted to do all year. Everything we want's ahead of us. It's just how do we learn from these, past few games? How do we learn from this last one especially, and make ourselves a better team from that going forward?
Did this one feel different from, say, Steelers or Rams?
I think every loss hurts me the same. I go home and I think back about, the 3 or 4 plays that you want back. And I think that's probably how most guys in our locker room feel. I think, you know, most games there's 3 or 4 plays that probably aren't the way you wanted them to go, or, imagine them going or envision them going. And, you know, when we lose, it hurts that much more. You go back home, lay in bed at night and think about, man, what if I would have done this on that play or this on that play? And I think it's those things that, guys come in the next week, really focus on, really make points of emphasis to get better at, clean up, and we'll be better as a team overall because of that.
What's up, Nick? Thanks for the time. First game in a while with Mooney out there. What was it like just getting him back in the fold? And can you tell the difference when he's out there as opposed to when he's not?
Man, yeah, having Mooney out there, great for the team. Very sticky in man coverage. Great player to have out there. Someone who I enjoy playing with, and you can definitely tell a difference when he's out there with Sauce, and it shows the way we can lock receivers down.
And then one quick follow up. He mentioned the difference between a lot of these games, especially in playing like high level teams, is finishing. So, in your mind, how do you think you all can grow in that aspect of the game? Because he was saying that's the next step for this unit.
I think we just go out there and continue to play at a high level. Playing 96 snaps, a lot of snaps, but got to continue to be consistent throughout the whole thing. So that game on Sunday was a playoff like game, the environment and everything, and I feel like it gives our team good experience moving forward.
Joel,
What did you maybe learn from that game about the way teams are gonna kind of try to attack you when you've got Sauce and Mooney out there?
I mean, I think they're just gonna go out there and try to, continue to. I mean, teams are gonna get their playmakers the ball. They're gonna try to, run a lot of crossers and run people up and down the field. And, at the end of the day, we've got to continue to do our job and play at a high level.
Nathan. Oh, just kidding. Kevin.
Hey, Nick, I'm curious, when you play 95 snaps, it's obviously a big number. Do you feel it even more on a Monday in terms of what a normal game, or is it about the same?
I mean, yeah, you feel it. I mean, it's, we play 95 snaps. That's 2 games of football. So, you're gonna feel it the next day. The adrenaline wears off, and you're gonna feel it a little bit. But come in, get some treatment, get some sleep, and get yourself ready. Try to get ready for next week.
No one else has any questions for Nick? Looks like that'll do it.